Hey there, welcome to my workshop. So this is my YouTube story. So before I get started, I want to shout out 3 different people that I'm going to challenge to do this kind of video as well. I'm going to challenge my buddy Eric, Life and Farmland. I'm also going to challenge Paul Jackman, Jackman Works. And then I'm going to challenge Russ, OTB Thinker. Alright, so what I want you guys to do is make a video telling me about your YouTube story and do your video with that hashtag my YouTube story. Alright, so here's my story. So obviously the reason why I'm doing this is because I feel like I've got a little bit of a story to tell of why I started and what my intentions were and where I plan on this going. But one of the biggest questions that I've always had in my mind about all of what I've done is that no one's ever asked me what the name stands for. B&O Craftsman. My name doesn't start with B&O. In fact, it's Chris Walton. C&W Craftsman would make more sense. Well, I chose that because I feel like I've been very gifted with my hands. Now, I don't think I make the world's greatest furniture. I'm definitely nobody like Jimmy DiResta when it comes to building things and making things, or even Matthias Wandel. I'm not like those guys. But I still feel like I've been gifted with my hands to build things. My mother was always about that. So I just felt gifted. But in the Bible, particularly in Exodus chapter 31, it talks about the Ark of the Covenant being built and being made. And God appointed 2 people to build the Ark of the Covenant. Now I have to write these names down because they're kind of funky, but you'll understand what this is. So Exodus 31:5 says, He anointed them to cut and set stones, to work with wood, and to engage in all kinds of craftsmanship. And the 2 people that he appointed was a guy named Bezalel and Oholiab. Bezalel and Oholiab. Okay. Alright, you catch my drift. Alright, you catch my drift. Well, the name starts with B, and the second one starts with O. B&O. So B&O Craftsman was born. And it was born in 2016. And it was basically started because I was making a lot of things for my wife. I really enjoy making country primitive decor stuff. Or at that time, she was really more into that. Some of the real rustic stuff. So from all the videos that I've watched on YouTube, I didn't see anybody doing that. And I just thought, well, maybe I could be the guy that breaks that and breaks into that scene. Well, I kind of came into it at the end of that fad. That fad is not as big now. Farmhouse is more the rave now. And truthfully, it's just one of those things that people really don't dig. In fact, my 3rd video was how to distress wood. And that was really because that's what I was doing to a lot of these boards that she wanted me to make things of. So, I did that, and I recorded these videos to show you my process of what I was making some of these things. I did a lantern house. I did shutters, primitive shutters. I did some other stuff, but then I started branching into Harbor Freight videos and just really trying to figure out what exactly I wanted to make videos of. My shop was totally different. In fact, it was just so weird. I wish I had that picture of when this was completely empty. I mean, this has massively changed since I started. But my start of my workshop really coincides with the start of my YouTube because we moved into this house. I had to do a bunch of stuff here in this house. I did some built-ins, so I had a makeshift workshop in my garage. And my garage is older, so it's much tighter. We don't have storage outside the house, so half the garage is for storage, half of it's for the car. So it was not an option to keep as a workshop. But I had a basement underneath our kitchen that really allowed itself to be a good workshop, and that's where I'm at now. So when I started doing the workshop, it was basically when I started making YouTube videos. And I'll never forget making the first one. It was actually right before leaving for church one morning. I did the final video of just ripping things off of this blade that I put the name on, which is now in the trash. So it was just really kind of funny, some of the things that I remember. But I started it just mainly to kind of do 2 things at one time. My wife wanted these things made, so I'd make them, but then I'd record them on my phone. And that was the biggest trick. So if you've been following me for a long time, you know that I recently just bought the camera that I'm using right now. I've always used an iPhone to record everything. But when I started, I had an iPhone 4 with, I think, 8 gigs of memory. Needless to say, it did not take long to fill up. I would be in the middle of a project, record it, run upstairs, put it on the computer, very tediously on an old Windows computer, run down here, keep going on the project. And all of this was happening at 4 o'clock in the morning, really early. I didn't stay up late because for a good part of this, I wasn't really wanting her to know I was doing these videos. I just wanted to do it and see if it became anything. And so I did the Distressing Wood video, and it really went somewhere. That video just has skyrocketed. It continues to get a bunch of views. In fact, a lot of you guys watching this might be from that video. And that really catapulted me into really jumping more into YouTube. I got more active using my phone. As I progressed with better phones, I had better quality. Always suffered with the audio part of it all. Until I got a wired lav mic, which I still use occasionally, but it's not so good anymore. So I got some programs, got some a computer that I could do editing on, and just, did your basic things. Sometimes I even used iMovie on my phone to just edit the quick tips. That's kind of how the quick tips were born. I just started doing them randomly, and they just became what they are now. But as I progressed through, I really quickly realized, I'm going to back up a little bit, that my primitive stuff was not the way to go, because it just really wasn't me. It wasn't what I liked to build. It was what she wanted, and then her interests were changing. So I started trying to branch out into making other things and doing a lot of Harbor Freight videos, because I'm a big Harbor Freight fan. I've really learned the good stuff, and I've really learned the bad stuff, the stuff to stay away from. So I started focusing on that, started focusing on reviews, giving my opinions and stuff, and really just kind of spreading myself very thin, trying to figure out what I want to do, where's my identity in all this, what am I actually going to do, and am I going to make money off this thing? So all those answers, yes. I ended up being able to be monetized. And as far as my video, I had a really nice long talk with Cody from Wrangler Stars channel. He really helped me out, just directing me. I mean, we talked for a couple hours, and he really directed me into, don't try to be squeezing yourself into this one niche. Just do what you want to do. So for a while, that's pretty much what I've done. And so what I've wanted to do is make these quick tip videos and projects. But I'm really good at DIY and explaining stuff. So that's why on some of these cards that I've made, that if you have gotten one of my stickers, you've gotten one of these. On the back of it, it's DIY tips, and projects. That's the 3 things that I focused on, and that's where I figured out that's what I'm going to do. And that was about a year ago. So since then, I'm just focused on that, and things have been going pretty good. But I've learned a lot. I've learned to not make this priority, not to take time away from the family. I've also learned that if my wife wants something built, record something out of it. Try to think about that while I'm doing things, and just really learned to just try to be active all the time, and to do good edits, to be, I'm always still trying to find a balance between the music level or music at all, narrating or not narrating, things like that. And, I don't think I'll ever arrive, you're always learning, so that's always going to be a work in progress. Well, where I see myself going right now is stopping. No, I'm not stopping YouTube. The reason why I'm saying that is because we have a baby on the way that's about 7 months away, and that's going to change the world again. So we'll have another child. We already have one, so we're going to have another, and that's going to change some dynamics of the videos. I do make my videos all at night, so for the most part, that may not change a lot. But the frequency of those videos are going to slow down. But I do see myself progressing into doing more bigger items. I'm trying to establish more of a business side of B&O Craftsman besides just YouTube. There's a 3-part thing. I've got YouTube, and then I've got my merchandise, which is really hardly anything, and then the third one is just making things for people and selling them to them. So I've got a potential client right now, might be my first official client. So I take that back. I've already had one official client, and it was Life and Farmland. So, I do see myself getting to a place where I'm hopefully making things for people and selling it, and while I'm doing that, recording the process, because I really enjoy recording these processes. You know, as I stand here, I've got three different projects on my bench that need to be completed, and two of them are. Well, one of them is for my wife, the other one is for my sister-in-law, and then the other one is actually just something that I'm going to make and then post for sale. So it's kind of funny. Each one is part of that process, you know what I'm saying? So anyways, that's kind of my story in a nutshell. I mean, I could go on forever. This video is long enough because it's all talking. So if you've watched me to this point, let's do this. Let's say Bessie Clamp in the comments, and I'll know that you've actually watched this thing the whole leg through. But thank you for watching this. Like I said, I'm going to challenge Eric from Life from Farmland, Paul Jackman, and Russ, the OTB Thinker. I'm going to put links to their channels below. And hopefully they'll do the same thing. Hashtag it in their comment, my YouTube story. But you are more than welcome to do the same. And so if you do the same, I'll be able to find you with that hashtag and put you in a playlist so that everything's going to be one playlist. But if you do it, that's awesome. Alright. So guys, thank you for watching this video. I do have some projects, like I mentioned, that are going to be coming up. But with the baby on the way, who knows what's going to happen. Alright. So thank you for watching this video. Thank you for coming to my workshop and enjoying this conversation. It's all been one way. But this is just me, kind of uncut. I hope you have a great day. Take care.